right, Thursday morning yoga. Please find a comfortable seat. Yesterday's practice was focused on cultivating what Zen Buddhism calls Shoshin, which means beginner's mind. And we're going to continue that practice and explore it just a little bit deeper. So in some of our childhoods, we may have been conditioned to having the answers, perhaps even being punished for saying the words, "I don't know," whether in school or at home. I know I've personally had that. And it's interesting when our egos are still forming in its ripe in childhood, how that imprint in our brains can affect us in adult life of fearing the fact of not knowing. So there's an article in Eckhart Yoga written by Emma Newland, and she says that a practice of undoing years of conditioning, of course, takes commitment and time, something we continually tell ourselves we apparently don't have enough of. But if we can gradually open ourselves up to learning and receiving, emptying our cup just a little so there's room to fill it with something fresh, we give ourselves the gift of potential, which is the benefit of practicing beginner's mind. We give ourselves the ability to expand. We physically give ourselves the gift of growing new neural connections and a healthier brain. And we also give ourselves the gift of self-acceptance and openness. So I did a little more research on beginner's mind, and here's what Kripalu Yoga Center says, written by Jess Frey. The unknown then becomes a sacred voyage of discovery. Steering through the waters of uncertainty requires intention, commitment, dedication, and great courage. The practices of meditation and mindfulness can be a reliable compass. They invite us to shift out of autopilot, to pause, connect, and make contact with the unknown in a whole, embodied way. Life must sometimes be simply lived and experienced without being known or understood. We learn to be rather than to do. Beginner's mind is a mind free of agenda, expectations, judgments, or prejudices. It is an open-hearted presence that allows us to pay attention, listen closely, and see things as they truly are, which reminds us of the practice of vidya, seeing things as they truly are, without the colorings of ego, conditioning, and presumptions. So how do we develop a beginner's mind? We did a little practice yesterday, but I'd like you to take a moment as you're sitting tall, grounded, to close your eyes. Take notice of your breathing, just as it is. Allow curiosity of the way your body's feeling, whatever thoughts are lingering or rising. Then feel your body anchored to what you're sitting on. Feel a sense of groundedness physically. Here are some questions you might reflect on in this practice of beginner's mind. What is your relationship to the unknown? What fills you with a sense of aliveness, wonder, and awe? What is the value of a fresh start? Where in your life might it be possible to open to change? Feel the in-breath expanding into your lungs, a slight lift at the heart center. Slowly whispering the breath out to your mouth. Immerse into the qualities of your breath that you can feel and perhaps hear, using as many of your senses as you can to engage fully with your body breathing. Can you feel something slightly different with each new breath? Notice how each breath is unique. So in the yoga practice today of asanas, here are some words of encouragement by Carson McGinley from the Chopra Center. Practice noticing how you experience expectations. In yoga class, when your teacher says to come into Warrior 2, do you expect for it to make your front thigh tired? Do you expect to hate it? What if today Warrior 2 was extremely empowering for you? Or insert whatever pose instead. Would you be able to notice that? So with a beginner's mind approach to your practice, you can experience each pose as if you were experiencing it for the first time. And better yet, you'd be able to be so available to the full range of sensations that you'd find delight even in the challenging moments, simply because you're aware of them. Let's dive into that practice. Turn on that childlike sense of awe. So joining your hands together at your hearts. Perhaps dedicating your practice or setting an intention for yourself. Now, as you continue to dive deeply into your breath, expand it down into your belly and feel the use of your diaphragm. Close your lips and equally lengthen the breath through your nose. Now, either continue this style of breathing or join me in the pranayama called Bastrika, bellows breath. I'll quickly demonstrate. We begin with the elbows bent apart, hands like this. Then we inhale using the diaphragm, the arms rise, fingers spread, and then we exhale, rebend the elbows apart. It's rhythmic. Eyes are closed like this. So I'll watch the clock for 1 minute if you want to give it a try with us. Let's begin. Then relax, release your hands in your lap. Breathe naturally for a moment to observe. Then slowing your breath down, still breathing through the nose, let's begin Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breath, by softly narrowing the back of your throat and allowing a gentle whisper in and out through the nose. So let that sound you're creating intentionally, a very soft and steady sound, help to anchor your mind here with your body. In this practice of beginner's mind, gently open your eyes. Let's make our way down to all fours, hands and knees. Set your hands any way you like for cat-cow. For example, if you'd like to stretch the wrist while doing it, you can spin the fingertips and turn out to some degree, or flip the palms to face up. Set your knees under your hips, but have your wrists a couple inches ahead of your shoulders to give the spine room to move. With your in-breath moving to cow pose, stretch the spine forward. Then coil your chest up, broadening the collarbones as you look up. Then exhale, contract your belly, dropping your skull as you tuck the tailbone under your body. Cat pose. Then nice and slow, feel the breath last all the way in as you lift the chest. Feel the exhalation all the way out as you round the back. Noticing the nuances of movement throughout the spine. Does something feel different about this cat-cow, which you may have done many of times before? With your exhalation, relax to a neutral spine and set your hands flat so that your index fingers are facing forward, parallel to each other. And now your wrists are directly under your shoulders in modified plank pose. Lengthen the sides of your neck as you press the shoulder blades back. Rotate the outer sides of your upper arms towards the rear of your mat to broaden the shoulder blades across your upper back. Now focus on that space between your shoulder blades. Can you slightly lift it up without completely rounding the back? Just stabilizing your scapula using your latissimus dorsi. Engage the lower belly, draw the tailbone behind you. Now keeping this length throughout the spine as you engage the muscles around it to support it. Take a deep breath, then exhale, glide forward, keep the lower belly lifted, keep the neck long, and bend the elbows back. Feel your arms hug your side ribs and try to lower your chest and belly at the same time without shrugging the shoulders. Coming all the way down, point your toes firmly on the mat. Then slide your elbows forward so they're slightly in front of your shoulders, coming into Sphinx pose. See your forearms parallel in front of you as you lift your heart. Take a deep in-breath and broaden your chest. Feel the collarbones like a huge smile right above your heart. And as you exhale, encourage the tops of your shoulders to melt downward. As you look at the floor ahead, lengthen the back of your neck without straining it. Soften the eyes, maybe a smile on your face, as if this was the very first time you get to enjoy this beautiful heart-opening back bend called Sphinx. As you grow the legs long, feel the support of the earth and press back into her. Take another deep breath. With an exhale, slide your hands back so your wrists are just beside your lowest ribs, bending the elbows to hug your side waist. Ground the pelvis and feet again, and then begin to roll the shoulder heads behind you, still pressing them downward as you broaden that smile of your collarbones. Breathe your heart forward, and let's take 2 more breaths here in Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Feel every toenail rooting into the earth. Then tuck your toes behind you. Whether knees are on the ground or lifted, press up through plank pose. Bend the knees and lift the hips back into downward facing dog. Now you might like to take a moment to shift around in any way that feels good to warm up backs of your legs, maybe pedaling the feet in place, your neck, maybe shaking and nodding the head softly. Noticing any louder sensation in your body as good information to pay attention to and attend to in the way it needs. Deep breath in. Feel the breath out. Now begin to hold still in Adho Mukha Svanasana, taking a few breaths to pay even more attention as you root down through fingers spread. Give the energy into your arms and hands as if you're pushing the mat forward and away from your feet. Feel that ability to lift the hips further up and back. Also lift the shoulders up and back. Now continue to broaden the shoulder blades by rotating your triceps or outer upper arms downward towards the mat. Feel your belly engage. Now bring your attention to the front creases of your hips, the very tops of your thigh bones. Press those back. Knees can be as bent as necessary here as you shift more weight towards the rear of your mat. Taking 2 more deep breaths. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now on your exhalation, walk to the front of your mat to stand in a forward fold with your feet at least hips width apart and parallel. Again, bending the knees as much as needed so you can truly lengthen the spine without straining. Press your fingertips on the floor, blocks in front of you, or your legs. And as you engage the fronts of your thighs and belly, shift a little more weight towards the balls of your feet. Press with your fingertips to help traction your spine as you breathe in to lengthen it forward, sliding the shoulder blades down your back. Pause here for another few breaths. In Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Now, as you pause, can you really feel as though you're creating a flat back? It might require bending the knees a bit more, feeling the belly more live engaged, and extending the chest forward as if pressing the heart through the gates of your arms. With legs strong, take another deep breath. Grow forward through the top of your head. Then exhale, fold down. Firming down to your feet, sweep the arms and inhale to rise all the way up, keeping the shoulders relaxed as you see your palms touch. Then exhale, trace your thumbs through the third eye center, throat energy center, through the heart center. Let's flow. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward with intention. Press with your fingertips. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Place your hands alongside your heels and step left knee back to a kneeling lunge. From down to the right foot, inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Draw the tailbone down and forward as you lift the chest. Circle your hands flat into the ground and step to plank pose. From plank, with your next exhalation, glide forward, slow and controlled. Try to lower chest and belly at the same time. Ground the tops of your feet and breathe into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Lifting through plank, exhale to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here, in and out through the nose. With an inhale, slowly lift the left leg behind you. Use the entire exhale to lightly land the foot forward just inside of your left hand, kneeling the right knee down. Firm the left foot down. Inhale, sweep the arms to rise up. Circle the hands to the top of your mat and exhale, step forward and fold. Firming down to your feet, inhale, sweep the arms and rise, gazing up. Palms meet in salutation. Exhale, trace that through your upper energy centers to your heart. Second side, inhale, sweep. Namaskar C. Inhale, lengthen forward. Fingertips outside heels, right knee steps back as you breathe out. Sweep the arms, inhale, rise up. Exhale the hands to the floor from plank, lowering forward, then down. Breathe into Cobra, or if you choose upward facing, exhale to downward facing dog. Pause and take a deep breath, lengthening it. With an inhale, raise your right leg slowly behind you. Exhale, softly step it forward inside the right hand, back knee down. Root into the earth, inhale, rise up, expand the heart towards the sky. Circle your hands to the top of your mat. Exhale, step forward to bow. Inhale, sweep the arms, rising tall, greeting your day ahead. Exhale, back to your heart center. Now, sun salutation A. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Stepping to plank or floating to chaturanga, use the exhale to lower. Breathing into Cobra or upward facing dog. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale will meet in downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 to 5 breaths there. Savoring, filling up your lungs. nourishing your body with each new breath. Nourishing your mind with sharpened focus. Bend your knees, look ahead of your hands. The end of the exhale, lightly land at the top, forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms, inhale, rise tall, palms meet. Exhale, your hands together, your heart. Sun salutation B. Bring your feet to touch. Bend your knees to touch. Inhale to chair pose. A continuous flow with slow, steady breaths. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift your heart, tractioning the spine. Step or float back as you breathe out. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Inhale, slowly lift your right leg back. Exhale, softly land the foot inside of your right hand and spin the back heel down. Facing forward, inhale, rise up to warrior one. Use the exhale to lower slowly through plank and chaturanga dandasana. Breathing into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg slowly behind you. Exhale, gently step it forward inside of your left hand. Spin the right heel down. Keep the hips forward. Inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower. Down into a full vinyasa or one cat-cow. Let's meet in downward facing dog. In your mind's eye, as you breathe in, track the movement of your breath. Can you feel the organs receiving it? As you breathe out, hear the gentle sound of your breath through the nose. Let's take 2 more breaths here, finding length through the spine as you root down through fingers spread. With very bent knees, breathe in, lift your hips and look forward. Empty your breath and walk or float to the top. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale to fold. Feet touch, knees touch. Inhale, sit low in chair. Exhale to rise up. So shifting your weight onto your left foot, turn out your right leg from the hip and hug your right foot against your inner left ankle, calf, or thigh. Now feel the ground and press into it through the 4 corners of your left foot, spreading your toes. Feel that energy rise up to your left leg, center line of your body through your crown. Feel the breath in, even with the breath out. And with your eyes steady on something, relax your gaze. Maybe turn up the corners of your mouth. Finding a sense of joy of embodying with full presence here the intention for your practice. How would you like to explore and add your own flavor to this pose? Maybe raising the arms, maybe a swaying tree. Full breath in. Bring the hands together at your heart and exhale, step the right foot against the left. Shift your weight right onto your right foot, spreading your toes. Turn out your left leg from the hip. Hug the left foot against your inner right ankle, calf, or thigh. And feel how you're distributing your weight throughout the 4 corners. Lifting your body up the center line. Feel the breath in and feel the relief of the exhalation. And then add your own spice if you like. Any kind of variations with your arms or even a movement for the last few breaths in Vrikshasana, tree pose. Breathe in, let your palms meet at your heart. Exhale, set the left foot next to the right. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. A gesture of gratitude as the hands meet. Bring that to your heart as you bow in towards the earth. Breathe in, lengthen your spine forward. Float to Chaturanga or step to plank or take a cat-cow if not a vinyasa. Let's meet in downward facing dog at your own pace. In downward facing dog, slowly breathe in to raise the right leg behind you. Now keep the two shoulders even, look forward, and exhale, cross the right knee to tap your left elbow or tricep. Feel the twist at your waistline, not at the shoulders. Inhale, re-extend the right leg slowly, back to three-legged dog, and try that twice more slowly using the breath. Exhale, forward and twist. Shoulders stay even, gaze is forward on the ground. Last time, inhale to lift. Exhale, shift forward, twist, but this time, softly as you can, land the foot inside of your right thumb. Lower the back knee and firm down through the right foot to rise up in a kneeling lunge. So making sure that your legs are as wide apart as your hips allows you to feel more evenly grounded on left and right sides. It doesn't feel like you're trying to balance on a tightrope. Then stacking the front knee directly above the heel, not in front of it, support your knee. Then give the energy into your legs as if you're dragging them towards each other without visibly moving them. Firm into the ground like tree pose and feel the uplift through the center line of your body. Frontal hip bones slightly rise, helping to contain your center just below the belly button. And then raising the arms, feel the lift from all the way down to your outer hips. Relaxing the shoulders, getting taller and taller through the top of your head with each breath. And though your eyes are focused, relax your eyes, relax the face. Now take hold of your left wrist with your right hand and lift up through the sides of your waist while keeping the shoulders down. Keep the legs still so that right knee and right toes still face forward and begin to side bend to your right for a few breaths. Firming down through both feet, lift the spine from the pelvis with your inhales. Side bend a little further as you breathe out, keeping that right leg solid as it is. We're preparing the twist, so breathe in to rise. Bring your hands together at your heart. If you want to come into a high lunge, crescent pose, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, but re-level your hips. Otherwise, you can keep the back knee on the floor for more support. Stretch the spine forward down the center line of your mat. Breathe in here. Hug the hips still, and at your waistline, rotate the rib cage to face the right wall. You have the option of lowering the left hand on the floor block just below your left shoulder or hooking the left elbow outside of your right thigh. Now with each inhale, continue to lengthen your spine forward. If your back knee is off the ground, imagine you're pressing your left heel against the rear wall of your room. Slide the shoulder blades down your back. If you're keeping the hands in prayer, see if you can get your sternum, middle of your chest, to reach your thumbs. Let's take 2 last deep breaths in the spinal twist. Now look down at your right foot. As we transition to Warrior 2, you might like to lower your 2 hands to frame the foot for more support, or reach the left hand forward and backstroke it to rise. Aligning your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Open up your arms and see your wide stance, where your ankles pretty much land right under your wrists. Now, as your chest is facing the left wall, you're gazing forward past the right hand. Feel that you're turning your left leg slightly inward to face the front of your mat as you straighten it. Your right leg completely turns out as you bend the knee just over the heel. Feel your pelvis upright, right outer hip rotating under the body slightly. Top of the left thigh bone firming back towards the right edge of your mat slightly. And then lifting up through the center of your spine while still relaxing your shoulders down. Feel the ease and length of each new breath. Like I read in the beginning, are there any expectations as we're landing this posture? Notice those, and see if you can notice something different in this experience. Last 2 breaths, Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten the right leg. Let's prepare for triangle pose. You might like to shorten your stance a couple inches for stability. From down through both feet, engage the front of your thighs and sideways slide your pelvis towards the rear edge of your mat while reaching your right fingertips straight forward in a lateral reach before tilting the right hand down onto your right leg or just to the right outside of it, perhaps using a block. So you want to have your right arm and leg pressing against each other if your hand is on the right side of the leg. That adds more stability as you continue to roll the right outer hip under your body and intentionally reach your tailbone back towards your left outer heel while lengthening the crown of your head forward towards the front edge of your mat. As you open the left arm, use breath to encourage broadening your chest and upper back, sliding the shoulder blades down the back. Feel freedom in your neck. Now you might be staring upwards towards the left thumb unless it doesn't feel okay on your neck. Feel the support of your legs, the muscles in your belly and the sides of your waist to help you lift a finger or more if you wanted to, rather than feeling as though you're collapsing down through the right hand. Let's take a few more breaths. What can you notice this time in triangle pose? Take a deep breath in, look down at your right foot, and exhale your hands to the ground, either to flow through your own vinyasa or to step back straight to downward facing dog. Arriving, take 3 full breaths. Where do you feel the breath traveling? And how does it feel to release it? Second side, inhale, raise your left leg slowly behind you. Keep your shoulders even, look forward. Exhale, cross the left knee to tap your right elbow in a twist in plank. Twice more slowly, use the breath. Inhale, re-extend to 3-legged dog. At your waistline, twist as you shift forward to plank. Left knee to right tricep, gaze forward. Last time, breathe in to lift the leg. Exhale, shift forward and twist. Shoulders stay balanced. Softly land the left foot inside of your left hand. Lower the right knee from down to the legs and rise up. Kneeling lunge. Now set up your legs so they're hips width apart rather than on a tight rope, and stack your left knee right on top of the heel. Then bring the energy or muscular strength in your legs as if you're dragging them towards each other while keeping them still. Feel your pelvis upright with a slight lift of the lower belly, and then feel the extension of your arms as though you could reach past your fingertips. Relax the shoulders, and let's take a few breaths, feeling taller and taller with each breath. Now with your left hand, take hold of your right wrist. Root down through both feet. Breathe in and lift the lower spine from your pelvis. Keep the legs still. Exhale, side bend to the left. Breathe in, keep lifting the lower spine. Exhale, keep side bending. Softening the shoulders down. Then inhale, rise up and join your hands together at your heart. If you'd like to come up to crescent lunge, lift the back knee, re-level the hips. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward down the center line of your mat. Feel stability at your hips as you use your obliques to turn the chest to the left, either lowering the right hand on the inside of the left leg or hooking right elbow outside of the left thigh. If your right knee is lifted, press the heel back as if against a wall. Breathe in length through the spine, twisting a little deeper as you breathe out. If your hands are in prayer, see if you can turn your chest so that the middle of it meets your thumbs, softening the shoulders down the back. Has any expectation in entering this twist on side 2 colored your experience of it in some way? It is definitely a practice to let go of habits in the mind. Last breath here. Now gaze down at your left foot. You can place your hands to frame it as we transition to Warrior 2, or you can reach the right arm forward and backstroke it to rise up. Spinning the right heel down, align your left heel to the arch of your right foot. And as you open your arms, turning your chest to face your right wall, see that your ankles pretty much land under your wrists in this wide stance. Your right knee and toes are slightly facing the front of your mat. Left knee and toes are completely facing the front. Then feel your pelvis upright as you wrap the left outer hip slightly under your body and firm the top of the right thigh bone back with a slight lift of your frontal hip bones. Relaxing the shoulders down. Feel the breath. Filling up your lungs. A couple more breaths. Then straighten your legs, but firm the feet down for triangle, in which you might shorten your stance a couple inches. Slide your hips sideways towards the back edge of your mat while reaching the left hand forward as far as you can before tilting it down to land. On your leg or just to the left of it. If the latter, press arm and leg against each other. Continuing to point left knee and middle toe down the center line of your mat. Wrap the left outer hip under your body. Reach your tailbone back towards your right outer heel. Then continue that line through your spine forward through the crown of your head. As you raise the right arm, breathe openness across your chest and upper back, spiraling your chest to slightly face the sky. Maybe your eyes look up on one spot past the right thumb. A few more breaths. Being curious about this experience. Let's take one more breath in. Look at your left foot. Exhale your hands to the ground. Whether you decide to flow on your own vinyasa, sit in child's pose, or meet us directly in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the right leg behind you slowly. This time take a few breaths to bring a bit more awareness into how you're leveling out your two hips and firming the muscles of your lifted leg. Imagine pressing the heel back against the rear wall as you equally press through both hands and lift both shoulders, dropping the head. Draw your left outer hip back and feel the equal length from armpits down the side waist to your hips. Keeping all of that length, inhale. Slowly with control, exhale, bend the right knee towards your nose, lifting the belly to round the back. Softly land the right foot inside of the right hand. Drop the back heel for warrior one. Keeping the hips facing forward, rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. Reach your hands behind you to either hold a strap or interlace your fingers, opening the fronts of your shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades down and lift your heart as you breathe in. Now either stay here or begin to bow forward, breathing out. If you're bowing, either rest on top of your right thigh or inside of it while continuing to square your hips by drawing the right hip back. Feel the weight of your back heel anchoring you. As you drop the head, let the neck soften so that while lifting the arms forward, away from your lower back, you're also lifting the shoulders up, away from your neck. In devotional or humble warrior, let's take 2 last breaths. If you're bowing from down through your feet, inhale, rise up. Join your hands to your heart in prayer. Feel the re-squaring of your hips as you bend the front knee and tack the right hip back. Now begin to lean the spine forward diagonally, hovering your belly off of your right thigh. Gaze on the ground about 3 feet ahead of your right toes. Begin to lift the left heel, spiraling your left hip slightly forward. Then shift into warrior 3. Automatically flexing the left foot, feel the muscles in that lifted leg engaged. You could place your hands on the ground, right under your shoulders. You could reach the arms apart or forward if you'd like more rigor. Feel your breath, calm and steady. Feel your right outer hip draw back, creating equal length from both armpits to hips, leveling the 2 hips as you extend your chest forward. Take another breath or few, then softly step back to warrior 1. Warrior 1, inhale the arms overhead. Let's go straight to downward facing dog for the sake of time. In downward dog, take a deep breath in, then open your mouth wide for lion's breath. Stick out your tongue. Seal the lips again, back to Ujjayi breath. Inhale, raise the left leg behind you and pause. Take a moment to notice the details. As you flex the left foot, feel your ability to find a sense of stability. Drawing the right outer hip back. Equal length through both sides of the torso. Dropping the skull, lifting the shoulders away from it. Take a deep inhale. Slowly bend the left knee towards your nose and round forward through plank. Softly step the foot just inside of your left hand and spin your right heel down. With the hips facing forward, inhale to rise up. Virabhadrasana 1. Now as you're bending that front knee, draw the left hip back. Reach your hands behind you and switch the interlacing of your fingers on top or grab a strap. Breathe in and coil your chest up. Feel stability through both legs. And exhale, stay here or begin to bow on top or inside of your left leg. If bowing, keep drawing the left hip back so your hips remain squared. Let the head fall. As you lift the shoulders away from it, stretch the arms forward. Last couple of breaths. Devotional or humble warrior. Firm down through your feet. Inhale, slowly rise if you're bowing. Let's join the hands together at the heart. Keep drawing your left hip back and lean the spine forward, just diagonally, hovering your belly off of your left thigh. Now, is there an expectation or anticipation in the mind? Pause and be here with your breath. Gaze on the ground about 3 feet ahead of your left toes. Begin to tilt your weight forward, then flex the right foot as you lift the heel about the height of your hip. Draw the left outer hip back. Feel a slight lift in your lower belly as though in plank. Imagine you're pressing your right heel against the back wall as your chest lengthens towards the front. Any variations with your arms. Feel your breath. For one more or a few more cycles here, we'll meet in Warrior One. Once you land, lift your arms overhead and take a deep inhale. Exhale, let's meet down onto hands and knees, all fours. So I'd like you to take a moment to practice your own heating inversion if you have one. Headstand, handstand, forearm balance. Otherwise, we're going to take one round of dolphin pose, just one round. So set your knees on the ground. Place your elbows exactly shoulders width on the floor. Either have your forearms parallel like Sphinx, or interlace your fingers and root down to your outer wrists. Draw your shoulders back away from your neck. Let your chest slightly sink towards the earth. But lift the belly up away from the earth and draw the sitting bones back. And tucking your toes, press down through your forearms and lift the hips like downward dog. As you hold for 5 to 10 breaths, see if you could walk the feet closer to your elbows while keeping your shoulders either directly above or behind your elbows. Pressing your chest towards your shins. You might even like to bring the feet together and keep the hips squared while lifting one leg straight up, flexing the foot. Notice how this is similar to Warrior 3, or like how we prepared in Downward Dog. And then you decide when you're ready to rest. Let's all meet in Child's Pose. When you do arrive in Child's Pose, you might like a different variation with your arms, something that you haven't done yet. If this is your first Child's Pose, what do you revert to doing with your arms? And try something else. Change it up a little, perhaps. Drink up a full breath and clear it out. One more. Inhale deeply and completely let it go. Plant your hands alongside your knees, and with an inhale, slowly roll your spine upright to sit in Virasana, Hero's Pose. This can be done in many ways. If you've got knee issues, you might like to sit up on something like a block that you can place right between the ankles. The higher you sit, the less bend in the knees. It becomes a little easier. If sitting in this way is just not okay, then go ahead and bring your legs forward. That's fine. Now, if you are sitting on your shins and that feels comfortable enough, you might try going a little further by using your hands to roll the calves aside and then sitting on the ground right between the ankles. Make sure that your toes are pointing straight back. They're not turned out to the sides because you want them to be in line with your knees to keep your knees safe. And the knees are no wider than hips width. Now here, lift the frontal hip bones like you would in crescent lunge or warrior one, and let the tailbone descend. Getting taller and taller with each breath. Relax the shoulders down. You might already feel a bit of lengthening in the fronts of your thighs. Or you might try exploring walking the hands back slightly each breath. If you have a block or pillow, you could use it to catch your lowest ribs, just as long as you don't feel hyper arching in the lower back or compression. The further back you might lean your torso, continue to focus on lengthening the tailbone forward towards the space between your knees. If you are completely lying down, you might add reaching the arms overhead and catching hold of opposite elbows. Let's take 5 more breaths in whatever you're practicing now. It's good to know what the boundaries are in the moment of the physical body. Sometimes you can go to a certain depth one practice, and at other times it's different. It's just being okay with where you are right now. Find some peace in it. Now, very carefully, if you're leaning back, start to lift your torso. We're going to bring the legs out in front of you, straight. If you have a strap for shoulder support, grab it and have it nearby. And as you straighten the legs, you might just like to shake them out or roll out the feet. Create some space in the backs of the knees. After that, flexing the feet can help create space. And then we're going to prepare for Gomukhasana. So keep your right leg straight on the ground to start and pick up your left thigh to cross over the right so that you can perhaps stack your knees down the midline. Now either keep the right leg straight or bend the knee and separate your feet wider apart, gently flexed. Do whichever variation allows both sitting bones to ground. You could also elevate your pelvis on a block. That can help. Now raising your right arm, so if the left leg is on top, right arm is up. Have your strap hanging from that hand if you're using it for shoulder support. Bend the elbow behind the center of your head so your right palm lands between your shoulder blades. And if you don't have a strap, hold your shirt there. Reach the left hand under behind you and grab your shirt or the strap. And walk your hands as close together as you can. Maybe they clasp. Press the shoulders down as you broaden the chest. Sit tall, breathe in. Hinging from your hips, breathe out. Taking your time, breath by breath, to explore the range of your forward folds while keeping an open space at your throat between chin and chest. Cow face pose, Gomukhasana. What is your body asking you to tune into here as you take one last breath into that space? Begin to lift the heart as you inhale to rise. Release the arms, release the legs straight forward. Let's prepare for the second side. Take your right thigh and cross it over the left, stacking the knees. Either keep the bottom leg straight or bend both knees and splay the feet apart. Raise your left arm, opposite leg, opposite arm on top, holding the strap behind you. Bend the elbow behind the center of your head so left palm lands between the shoulder blades. Grab your shirt if you don't have a strap. Reach the right hand under, grab your shirt or the strap, and then walk your hands as close together as you can. Press down through the sitting bones. Breathe up through the spine and broaden your heart space. Open your throat. Shoulder blades down the back begin to hinge forward as you breathe out. Breath by breath, exploring your range. Do you feel something different on this side? Coloring your experience with a sense of loving curiosity, openness. And feel one more breath here. On your inhale, slowly rise up. Release the hands and step the feet onto the ground as you sit in the middle of your mat, separating your feet hips width apart, parallel. If you do have a yoga block, you could take the skinniest width and hug it right in between your thighs, offering the lower back more support as we prepare for bridge pose. Press the feet down, extend the arms forward, palms up, and lengthen your spine with the shoulders relaxed. Then take a few breaths to slowly lower your spine, lower your head onto the ground. Once you land, arms by your sides, slide your feet towards your hands until you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. Then ground your feet to prepare, holding bridge pose for your count of 5 to 10 deep breaths. When you lift the hips up, actively stretch your thighs forward, keeping them parallel. Tilt the chin slightly back to open your throat and walk the upper arms closer together under your back ribs. Maybe your hands clasp. As you press the ground with the outsides of your upper arms and the backs of your shoulders, feel the opening through the front of your body from torso to knees, grounding through your feet. What's different here? What's new? Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. When you feel ready, use an exhale to slowly lower your spine. When you lower your pelvis at your own pace, prepare for a supine spinal twist of your choice. You could open the arms wide and ground the shoulders, bend the knees towards your belly, knees together and drop them to one side as you turn your gaze to the opposite direction, grounding that shoulder. Or a different spinal twist if you have a preferred one today. So as you're twisting, give yourself about 5 breaths on each side at your own pace. Making sure that as you twist to one side, you're pressing the ground with the opposite side shoulder. After you finish both sides in your twist, give yourself a few more breaths and one last posture movement of your choice to help cool down for Shavasana. Maybe it's lifting the legs in happy baby pose or against a wall or shoulder stand. And start to set your body in a position to be still in and completely relax in, including the breath. as you close your eyes, lying still with a sense of open curiosity about this experience. For the next couple of minutes, I'd like to end with a mindfulness practice written by meditation teacher Jack Kornfield. It's called Don't Know Mind. Choose to either practice lying down or sitting up. Find your way there. Perhaps the eyes remain closed. Just continue to breathe naturally. You can use this practice to bring wisdom to a situation of inner or outer conflict. Initially begin by sitting or lying down, but later you can practice in social situations. So lie or sit quietly and easily, focusing on your breath or body. When you feel settled, bring to mind a time 10 years ahead. Recognize that you don't know what will happen then. Feel the not knowing and relax with it. Think of the Earth spinning through space, with hundreds of thousands of people being born and dying every day. Where does each life come from? How did it start? There are so many things we don't know. Feel the truth of don't know mind. relax, and become comfortable with it. Anchored in your breathing, in your body. Now bring to mind a conflict, inner or outer. Be aware of all the thoughts and opinions you have about how it should be, about how they should be. Now recognize that you don't really know. Maybe the wrong thing will lead to something better. You don't know. Anchor in your breath and in your body. Consider how it would be to approach yourself, the situation, the other people, with don't know mind. Feel it. Don't know, not sure, no fixed opinion. Allow yourself to want to understand anew. Approach it with don't know mind, with openness. How does don't know mind affect the situation? Does it improve it? Make it wiser, easier, more relaxed? Practice don't know mind until you are comfortable resting in uncertainty, until you can do your best and laugh and say, don't know. So if you're still lying down, please gently lift your body if you'd like to close the practice together. I love the little laugh at the end we're prompted to do, as it reminds us not to take things so seriously, not to take ourselves so seriously, and bring that lightheartedness that allows us to enjoy the surprises and adventures in life. Let's bring the hands together, closing with one Om. Take a deep breath in. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.